Okay, I'm about to formally open the meeting. Before we begin, can everyone please make sure your devices are turned to silent? Please also note that should we need to adjourn the meeting, again, make sure your microphones are turned off at that time as the live stream will continue running. I now request that the live stream of the meeting begin, please. We're going? Okay. Good evening, councillors, community members in attendance tonight, also any members of the public who are online. My name's Christine Olaris. I'm the Mayor of Darebin City Council, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all here to tonight's meeting. I declare this meeting open at 6:03 p.m. I would like to start by acknowledging that we're meeting tonight on the lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people, who are the traditional owners and custodians of land on which we are meeting. I recognise their continuing connection to land, to waters and to culture, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge all councillors, our executive leadership team, staff and municipal monitors who are joining us this evening. Tonight we're missing a very key member of council. For those who aren't aware, Councillor Gaetano Greco sadly passed away over the weekend. Councillor Greco was a Darebin City Councillor from 2008 until 2025 and served as Mayor in 2013 to 2014. Throughout his long and dedicated career serving the people of Darebin, Councillor Greco was a tireless advocate for social justice, community wellbeing, and for inclusive and accountable governance. He's also a fighter for equity of outcomes, particularly for those in the north. Councillor Greco also made time to listen and to respond to requests or concerns from the community, and he championed decision-making that was informed by community voices and community views. His commitment to the community was unwavering, even as recently as last week, where he sent us emails from his hospital bed about matters he thought were important for council to be considering. We thank Councillor Greco for his remarkable legacy, for the remarkable legacy he leaves in making Darebin a better place. And our thoughts and condolences are with his partner, Susanna, and his families and friends at this very sad and difficult time. I'd also like to advise that shortly in the agenda, I will be looking for a motion to defer the remainder of tonight's business, including public question time, to a future meeting date. I would, however, now like to invite Deputy Mayor, Councillor Emily Demetriatis, who served on council for the period since 2020 with Councillor Greco, and I call on her to provide a statement of condolence on behalf of the council. Thank you.
It is with a profoundly heavy heart that I stand before you tonight to honour and farewell a giant among us, my dear friend, mentor and colleague, Councillor Gaetano Greco, who passed away two days ago after a courageous and relentless battle with cancer. To his beloved partner Susanna, his cherished family and his many friends, I extend my deepest condolences. Thank you for entrusting me with this immense privilege of speaking tonight on behalf of all who loved and admired him. Councillor Greco was not just a councillor. He was the living embodiment of what it means to serve, not for title, not for recognition, but because justice demanded it. Elected to Darebin Council in 2008, Councillor Greco gave 16 years of his life, heart, soul, and every ounce of strength to this community. But Gaetano didn't just represent Darebin, he carried Darebin, its struggles, its hopes, its diversity, and its fight for fairness on his shoulders every single day. His leadership was never about comfort or convenience. Gaetano stood where it most mattered, on the front lines of justice. For our multicultural communities, for First Nations people, for those whose voices were too often ignored or silenced, Gaetano was their unwavering champion. He understood deeply that true leadership is measured not by popularity, but by the courage to confront justice, especially when it's hard, especially when you stand alone. When council threatened to privatise aged care, Gaetano didn't hesitate. He stood with our elders, safeguarding their dignity. When developers circled Preston Market, ready to erase a cultural and community icon, Gaetano led from the front, not just to save buildings, but to protect the heart of a community, where migrant stories were told in every stall. When prejudice surfaced in decisions, like denying a 50-metre pool at Reservoir Leisure Centre because new migrants may not have experienced swimming, Gaetano called it out, demanding better, demanding respect. This was Councillor Greco, a man of unyielding integrity, a truth teller who never flinched in the face of power and whose compass was permanently set towards justice. Even as illness took hold, Gaetano's spirit remained indomitable. Days before his passing, as others might have sought rest, Gaetano was still leading, sending us 3 final instructions, not for himself, but for us, for you, for this community. Firstly, to continue the hard, necessary conversations he began in 2020, to return land to First Nations people, because reconciliation without action is hollow. Secondly, to pursue the public acquisition of Preston Market, because communities should never have to beg to keep their heritage and livelihoods intact. Thirdly, to remember Gaza, to remember that while headlines fade, the suffering of over 50,000 lost lives demands that we, as a council, as human beings, stand firm in solidarity. Consulting with the Australian Palestine Advocacy Network and the community before any decision to lower the Palestinian flag he fought so fearlessly to see raised. These were not requests. These were Gaetano's final calls to conscience, his reminder that leadership is a trust bestowed upon us by those who believe in a fairer world. For me, Gaetano was far more than a colleague. He was my anchor in turbulent times, the voice of wisdom when the easy path tempted us away from the right one. He mentored me, believed in me, and stood by me through battles that tested every fibre of our resolve. Together, we fought for aged care, for community dignity, for equity, and every victory was a testament to his relentless drive. Tonight, we are bereft. His absence is a chasm that words cannot fill. I will miss his counsel, his fire, his unwavering belief that local government is not a bureaucracy, but a battlefield for justice. But if Gaetano taught us anything, it is this: grief must never turn to silence. Mourning must give rise to action. Councillor Greco's legacy is not just etched into Darebin. It is etched into each of us who have the honour to witness his leadership. His voice may be gone, but his message is clear. Stand up, speak up, and fight on. For our multicultural communities, for First Nations justice, for every person who dares to believe that equity is worth the struggle. Vale, Councillor Greco, your vision, your courage, and your uncompromising commitment to justice will echo through these chambers, through Darebin and far beyond, for generations to come. Now it's our turn to carry the torch. Let us not fail him. In Councillor Greco's honour, I would ask that we all stand and observe a minute's silence to pay our respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Mayor, can I raise a procedural motion to change the order of business?
What's the motion?
Procedural motion to change the order of business.
Okay, thank you. So that council amend the order of business of the meeting to immediately consider item 12, urgent business. So that's moved by Councillor Selkos. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Arturi. All those in favour? And anyone against? No, it's actually unanimous. Thank you. Okay. So we are now up to the item of urgent business. So that's Councillor Dimitriadis.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move to admit an item of urgent business, that Council admits to the agenda an urgent business item related to the passing of Councillor Gaetano Greco.
Do I have a seconder to admit the item of urgent business? Councillor Boglis. All those in favour? Unanimous. So go ahead. Would you like to move the motion?
I'd like to move the following item of urgent business, that Council, in honour of Councillor Greco's recent passing, flies the Australian national flag and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags at half-mast at all 5 of its civic flag pole sites in Darebin on Tuesday the 29th of April 2025. And secondly, that Council flies the Australian national flag and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags at half-mast at all 5 of its civic flag poles, its sites in Darebin, on the same day as Councillor Greco's celebration of life at a date to be determined in the future.
So that's moved by Councillor Dimitriadis. Do we have a seconder? Councillor O'Brien. Does the mover wish to speak? Does the seconder wish to speak? Okay, thank you. Councillors, if there's no further debate, I will put this item to the vote. So all those in favour, please raise your hand. And that's carried unanimously. Apologies. Yes, Councillor Sangster.
I'd like to move a procedural motion to defer remaining business listed on the agenda.
Thank you, Councillor Sangster. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Selkos. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That's unanimous. Okay, as there's no further business to consider, that concludes the formalities for tonight's meeting. In closing, I do just want to acknowledge that this is a really difficult time for the community, and I encourage everyone to look out for one another. Thank you and good night, councillors and officers and members of the public. I would like to declare the meeting closed at 6:17 p.m. Thank you.